The courtroom brimmed with tension as cameras rolled and phones flashed relentlessly. Outside, protesters waved placards demanding death for the accused oil magnate. Chief Williams sat in a wheelchair hooked to an oxygen tank silently. Once Africa's powerful tycoon, now frail, accused of murdering his family ritually. His eyes were empty, head hung low, flanked by indifferent guards. The judge asked if any final evidence or witness would speak now. Silence fell until a slim young maid stood up from behind. Murmurs spread as Amaka in uniform declared she had crucial evidence. She was the family maid who witnessed the murders that night. Amaka trembled but revealed she recorded everything on her phone boldly. Amaka walked ahead in worn slippers, holding back her tears firmly. Her name was Amaka Benjamin, Maid in the Williams household always. She knew the real killer and raised a flash drive high. The court inserted it, playing the video on the large screen. Shaky footage showed masked men storming the mansion with screams echoing. Gunshots rang out, then one unmasked himself, revealing Jonathan Chuka. Gasps filled the room as the rival billionaire smirked over bodies. He boasted this blow would frame Williams as a ritual killer. Jonathan leaped up in court, claiming the video was entirely fake. The forensic team confirmed its authenticity within minutes of examination. Chief Williams wept silently, his innocence beginning to shine through. Chaos erupted with reporters scrambling and police restraining furious Jonathan. The judge demanded order and questioned Amaka about the video's origin. She hid in the kitchen that night, recording secretly out of fear. Scared as a mere maid, she finally spoke to save him. The judge praised her for potentially saving an innocent man's life. He declared Williams innocent and sentenced Jonathan to death immediately. Redemption filled the air as chaos turned to triumphant cheers. Outside, a hooded woman in a van watched the unfolding drama. She sent an encrypted message that Plan B had failed miserably. Amaka must not survive to testify any further, she whispered urgently. That night in Oshodi, Amaka returned to her cramped apartment. Dimly lit by kerosene, her ailing mother Amanda lay coughing weakly. Amanda's eyes glowed seeing Amaka, whispering she had done it bravely. Amaka knelt, confirming the court saw the video and freed Williams. Her mother praised her for standing firmly for the truth always. Outside in shadows, two suited men watched from a tinted SUV. They confirmed Amaka as the one who exposed Jonathan completely. Orders were to eliminate her at nightfall, making it seem robbery. If the mother interfered, she would share the same grim fate. Amaka changed clothes, feeling uneasy, peering into the quiet street. The usual night hustle had faded into an ominous silence. A deliberate knock sounded at the door, making her heart stop. No answer came, then banging grew louder with urgent whispers outside. Amaka urged her mother they must escape through the back exit. She supported Amanda's frail body, slipping into the dark alley. Behind them, the front door crashed open with shouting men pursuing. They dodged through stench-filled paths, hiding behind a small kiosk. Footsteps thundered past as Amaka held her breath in terror. The men vanished, but Amaka knew returning home was impossible now. At the estate gates, she buzzed the intercom, pleading for help. The gates opened after pause, welcoming them into the quiet mansion. Staff provided food, clothes, and rushed Amanda to the clinic. Amaka met Williams in his wing, where he whispered gratitude softly. She knelt, crying, revealing assassins came for her and mother tonight. Williams promised protection, suspecting Jonathan's people sought further revenge. He summoned loyal security to fortify the mansion against threats. Not satisfied, he hired Detective Anyo to uncover the full conspiracy. Amaka sat in a lavish room she once only cleaned distantly. Cook Yemi praised her bravery, noting not everyone would risk life. Amaka humbly replied she couldn't let Williams die unjustly framed. Upstairs, Secretary Martha glared coldly, muttering Amaka should have died. She texted secretly that Amaka survived and was with the chief. A reply urged her to hold ground and act even faster. That evening, Williams called an emergency board meeting at headquarters. Executives gathered nervously, seeing him first time since the trial. In wheelchair, he declared some helped bury him, but he returned. He demanded answers about anyone colluding with Jonathan against him. Board member Bello denied involvement, calling it a personal war only. Williams accused someone of leaking his details to enable the frame. Martha entered with medication, but Amaka interrupted, sensing something wrong. Analysis revealed they were laced with dangerous opioids to sedate him. Chaos ensued as Detective Anyo presented emails proving Martha's betrayal. She had fed Jonathan's team locations and security blind spots monthly. Martha begged on knees, claiming coercion to save her daughter. Williams showed no mercy, ordering officers to take her away. Later, he confided in Amaka that he knew her late father. Benjamin was his trusted engineer who saved him from rig explosion. Amaka felt connected, stunned by this revelation from her past. He vowed no harm would come to her as family now. Staff rushed in, reporting an arrested assassin mentioned a cleansing plan. It wasn't over. A second strike was imminent against loose ends. Rain poured as police convoy sped with Amaka and Williams inside. Detective Anyo explained the syndicate involved politicians and corrupt officials. They aimed to erase Williams' legacy through this final cleansing. Williams resolved to stop them before they could finish entirely. Anyo proposed using bait by leaking false info about documents. They'd imply all evidence gathered at the mansion, including Amaka. Security transformed the estate into a fortified military-like zone. Amanda, recovering, begged Amaka not to risk her life again. Amaka assured her hiding wouldn't end the relentless pursuit forever. At midnight, storm raged as Williams and Amaka waited in study. Silhouettes visible, bait set for intruders to strike as planned. Power snapped. SUVs arrived. 8 masked men breached the walls. They shattered glass, fired shots, demanding the flash drive loudly. Smoke bombs rolled in, but gas vents activated non-lethal immobilizer. SWAT emerged from panels, capturing all in under 7 minutes. The next morning, headlines blared the foiled plot and captures. Nation apologized online, praising Amaka as the real hero bravely. President honored them with protection and public recognition awards. Williams told Amaka he owed her more than repayment possible. He handed envelope with scholarship for medicine at top university. Also arranged Amanda's abroad treatment and job at headquarters later. Amaka wept, overwhelmed by this life she never dreamed possible. 4 years passed to the buzzing auditorium at graduation ceremony. Amaka in doctor's coat waited backstage, heart pounding with excitement. Her name called as top graduate sponsored by Williams Foundation. Front row, Williams, Amanda, and husband Jerry cheered proudly. She met Jerry at conference, bonding over inspiration from her trial. Their small wedding at estate, Williams walking her down aisle emotionally. Now, at hospital opening, banner honored late Eleliana and George. Walls featured portraits and Amaka's photo as truth's brave champion. Williams spoke of redemption, calling Amaka his true wealth now. He revealed marriage to Amanda, born from shared grief and joy. That evening, Amaka and Jerry sat in garden under stars. She reflected on her journey from maid to doctor miraculously. Twins cried inside, named George and Benjamin in loving honor. Amaka planned clinics in Oshodi to empower girls like her once. Hand in hand, they walked into lights, her story inspiring forever. The stars gleamed over the Williams estate as Amaka and Jerry lingered. Their twins' laughter echoed from the mansion, a melody of hope. Amaka's heart swelled, envisioning clinics for Oshodi's forgotten girls. Jerry squeezed her hand, his eyes reflecting her unyielding resolve. "You'll rewrite their futures," he said, voice warm with certainty. She nodded, seeing her younger self in every slum child's dream. The night air carried whispers of change, bold and unstoppable. Inside, Chief Williams and Amanda sat in the softly lit lounge. Williams, leaning on his cane, smiled at Amanda's radiant strength. "You've given Amaka wings," he said, his voice thick with gratitude. Amanda's eyes shimmered, recalling years of struggle now transformed. "She's our daughter," she replied, her hand resting on his. They spoke of plans to expand the hospital's outreach further. Their love, forged in trials, anchored the family's soaring legacy. Morning brought a flurry of activity to the Williams estate. Amaka met with architects to sketch Oshodi's first clinic design. Blueprints sprawled across the table, promising healing and opportunity. Every room would bear a name of someone who inspired her. The Benjamin Wing for her father, the Aleliana for Williams's wife. She envisioned tech labs teaching girls coding alongside medical skills. Her dream was bold. No child left powerless in Oshodi's shadows. Detective Anyo arrived with updates on the syndicate's remaining threads. "We've traced payments to a corrupt senator," he reported grimly. Williams's jaw tightened, his resolve unyielding despite his frail frame. "They thought they'd bury us, but we're unearthing their lies." Amaka listened, her courage steeled by the battle's lingering stakes. Anio outlined a sting to expose the senator's secret meetings. "We'll need your help, Amaka, to lure them into confessing." Her pulse quickened, but fear no longer ruled her decisions. "I'll do it," she said, voice steady, eyes fierce with purpose. Jerry, standing nearby, nodded, trusting her strength above all else. The plan was simple. Amaka would pose as a whistleblower again. She'd leak a meeting time, drawing the senator to a trap. Hidden cameras and mics would capture every incriminating word spoken. Williams clasped her shoulder, pride radiating from his weathered face. The operation unfolded at dusk in a nondescript Lagos cafe. Amaka sat alone, a fake dossier open, her heart pounding steadily. The senator arrived, smug, unaware of the SWAT team nearby. "You have more evidence?" he asked, voice low, eyes darting nervously. Amaka nodded, sliding the dossier, her words calm but calculated. "It's enough to end you," she said, baiting his confession. His arrogance unraveled, admitting to funding Jonathan's cleansing plot. Microphones caught every syllable, sealing his fate in real time. SWAT swooped in, cuffs snapping on the senator's trembling wrists. Amaka exhaled, the weight of justice settling her racing heart. Back at the mansion, Williams watched the live feed, tears falling. "You've done it again," he whispered, awe coloring his voice. Amanda hugged Amaka tightly, her pride a quiet, fierce flame. The nation's headlines shifted. Senator exposed in Williams' conspiracy. Oshodi's first clinic broke ground under a hopeful morning sky. Amaka stood with a shovel, her white coat gleaming with purpose. Children from the slums gathered, eyes wide with newfound dreams. Williams, Amanda, and Jerry joined her, their family now unbreakable. The crowd cheered as soil turned, symbolizing futures reborn anew. Amaka spoke briefly. "This is for every girl who feels invisible." Her words ignited applause, a promise etched in Oshodi's earth. Years later, the Benjamin Eleliana Clinic stood as a beacon of hope. Hundreds of girls trained there, becoming doctors, coders, and leaders. Amaka, now a renowned surgeon, led the hospital with Jerry. Their twins, George and Benjamin, grew curious, asking about her past. She told them stories of courage, truth, and a maid's defiance. "Truth is your power," she said, kneeling to their level. They nodded, their young eyes sparkling with their mother's fire. Williams and Amanda, now retired, traveled to share their story. They spoke at global summits, inspiring millions with tales of redemption. The Williams Foundation grew, funding clinics across Africa's poorest regions. Amaka's name became synonymous with justice, hope, and fearless truth. Her portrait hung in every clinic, captioned, "Truth over Fear." One evening, she revisited Oshodi, walking the alleys of her youth. Memories of fear lingered, but now they fueled her mission. A young girl approached, clutching a stethoscope, eyes bright with awe. "Dr. Amaka, I want to be like you," she said shyly. Amaka knelt, smiling, seeing her own reflection in the girl's gaze. "You already are," she said, handing her a scholarship form. The girl ran off, clutching the paper like a golden ticket. Amaka stood, the stars above mirroring Oshodi's new constellation of hope. Her story, born in shadows, now lit paths for countless others.